Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today we're discussing a profound topic, grief and bereavement. We'll explore the different kinds of losses where grief may show up, common misconceptions around grief and bereavement, and how we can better understand this complex emotion. So let's dive in. Grief is a natural response to loss, and it can manifest in many ways. While we often associate grief with the death of a loved one, it can arise from a variety of other losses. Here are a few examples. Death of a loved one. This is the most recognized form of grief, whether it's a family member, friend, or even a pet. Divorce or breakup, the end of a significant relationship, can lead to deep feelings of grief. Loss of health. A chronic illness or injury can change our lives significantly, causing grief for the life we once had. Job loss. Losing employment can bring about feelings of loss related to identity and financial security. Moving or relocation, leaving behind familiar places and friends can trigger grief, even if it's a positive change like immigration. Loss of a dream. Sometimes we grieve unfulfilled aspirations or missed opportunities. Unacknowledged or disenfranchised losses. This can be grief around a loss that is not recognized or validated by society, family, or even the individual. For example, miscarriage, stillbirth, early infant loss are one example that is not often fully recognized by those around us, leaving parents feeling invisible and alone in their experience of grief and loss. For example, miscarriage, stillbirth, early infant loss are one example that is not often fully recognized by those around us. Other examples include a pet's death, loss of loved one due to a stigmatized cause like AIDS, addiction, or suicide, loss of a body part or a loved one's personality due to dementia or brain injury, for example, and also ecological grief. And this is emotional distress experienced around environmental changes in the natural world around us. Is grief and bereavement a normal adaptive process? So grief and bereavement are seen in various social animals, suggesting this is a complex primal experience that we all go through at some point in our lives. Animals show signs of depression, withdrawal, or lethargy after a loss. For example, elephants have been observed standing by the body of a deceased member, touching it with their trunk, and showing signs of mourning. Primates, dolphins, and wolves engage in comforting behaviors with one another, showing empathy towards their grieving peers. Equally, the stress of grief can also affect the physical health of social animals, leading to changes in eating habits, increased vulnerability to illness, and even decline in lifespan. Jane Goodall in 1972 witnessed a young male chimp named Flint die just a month after the death of his mother, Flo. The male was so despondent following her death that he stopped eating or socializing to the point that he simply didn't survive. As you can see, grief is something that we see in so many social animals. This tells us how mourning is an evolved response to coming to terms with loss. Intelligent animals and humans need time to process grief. In other words, grief is the price we pay for love. Misconceptions about grief and bereavement. So despite how common grief is, there are many misconceptions surrounding it that it can hinder the healing process. Number one, grief follows a linear path. Many people believe that grief has a set timeline with distinct stages, but the truth is that it's unpredictable. People may experience emotions in various orders and revisit feelings multiple times. Another misconception is that you should move on after a certain time. There's no right or wrong timeline for grief. Everyone heals at their own pace, and it's important to allow yourself the time you need. Number three, grief is only about sadness. While sadness is a common emotion, grief can also manifest as anger, guilt, confusion, or even relief. All feelings are valid. Number 4, you have to grieve alone. Many believe they should handle grief privately, but seeking support from friends, family, or professional counselors can be an incredible healing. Number 5, grief only concerns those close to the deceased. Grief can affect anyone connected to the loss, including colleagues, acquaintances, and even community members. Moving towards healing. Understanding grief is the first step towards healing. It's vital to acknowledge your feelings and give yourself permission to grieve. Here are a few suggestions for navigating your grief process. Talk about your feelings. Sharing your thoughts with someone you trust can help alleviate feelings of isolation. Create a memorial. Honoring your loved ones through a memory book, planting a tree, or lighting a candle can provide comfort. Seek professional help if needed. Grief counselors and support groups can offer guidance and a safe space to express your emotions. You're not alone. Practice self-care. Engage in activities that nurture your well-being, whether it's exercise, journaling, or spending time in nature. So thank you for joining me today to explore the complexities of grief. Remember, this is a personal journey and it's okay to seek support along the way. I've added a guided meditation on grief to help guide you wherever you are in your own process. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might benefit from this discussion. Thank you so much for being here, and until the next time.